What am I even doing? Oh, hey! Hello, everyone. Sorry that I'm late. Well, I did set it to like 1:30 today for the podcast. But let's just get started. So, hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin, and you are watching and are listening to episode 360 of DangIT Prodcast. That's wild. Hold on. Double checking audio stuff. I had to do a couple of tweaking here and there, or tweaks here and there, just to make this kind of work. I've been noticing a lot on Twitch's side whenever I stream there that the audio isn't that great, and so I had to figure out what's going on with that. Turns out that there's just a bunch of filters going through because we got the whole voice mod, right? Voice mod just doing some really fun stuff. Whatchamacallit it? Things like
the microphone, or
talking in a cathedral with so much reverb, or talking as T-Pain, that kind of stuff. So, and I guess voice mod does like its own bits of audio adjustments. I don't know the EQs. So it works on that by itself. Actually, no, not by itself. You have a bunch of sliders here and there through the app itself. Separate little application, but it just shows that it doesn't need OBS to do the thing at all anymore. So that's nice. I really appreciate that. So all I gotta do is just simply make sure that we just have voice mod as the main thing, and not just Blue Yeti as it is. I will say though, probably best to keep it like that way, because unfortunately this mic has been here for a while and it's been showing its age, but with modern technology it's kind of helped balance things out again, so I'm totally happy about that. So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting myself to be alone on this podcast. That's fine, because I got a couple of things I can talk about. We might keep the podcast short as a result, but we'll just carry on. So some things I want to do is, one, take a swig of water, right? And two, so let's begin. So content update for the channel, right? This is YouTube, right? DangIT Productions, the YouTube channel. We're doing updates for this channel as it is. We still post like weekly, right? And that's all. So far, it's been a consistent bit of just the My Hero mangas, like, you know, whenever it does come out for the public. It's been, I mean, I've been enjoying the series so far, so I'm glad to just make videos for it, especially since it's relatively easy to make that kind of like read through type of thing. But I have my sights set on something a little bit more ambitious. Obviously, I've talked about it before. It's the Quirk Concepts videos. We had like 3 entries for it. We have a 4th one coming up. It's just taking a little bit. Matter of fact, I have, and I'll tell it like right now. There's like 42 comments that I'm looking at. Granted, 2 of them are just kind of like really short. But in essence, yeah, it's just 42 comments. So to provide like feedback on all of them, and to try to gauge this so the video itself is not too long, I'm trying to prevent it from being, I don't know, how long was the part 3? Part 3 was a very lengthy one. I remember that was like maybe an hour and 42 minutes or something like that. I could verify it right now. Actually, I'll just do it. Let me just quickly hop over here. Do a search. Yes, I can. I will go ahead and just put Quirk. So Quirk Concepts 1 was 49 minutes, all right? Quirk Concepts 2, oh my god. I love it. So Quirk Concepts 2, you know how you hover over a video and it just kind of plays a little bit of the actual content itself? There's a bit from like the first arc of My Hero, well, it's the USJ arc, where it's at the end of the fight and Shigaraki gets shot up by Snipe, and somehow it was just within the perfect time frame to be part of this video preview when you hover over the thumbnail. It's great. Oh wow, yeah. So Quirk Concepts 3 was an hour and 43 minutes. And if I recall, that was an excruciatingly long like Quirk Concepts video because of the fact we did it live stream. And I remember that I had Mark in the chat that time to kind of bounce off ideas and feedback, but it was a lot of comments. So going forward, I really wanted to make sure that we got a smaller amount, if not just be able to touch on every single like idea and keep that within like 30 minutes at the most. Because I know y'all are doing other things. I get it. I'm doing things too. So I really would like to just make sure that those videos just stay. They stay at like 30 minutes or so. Although I am thinking though that with Mark on board, he'll probably be like whatchamacallit? Hold on. Oh, is that Mark right here? Oh yeah. My bad. I called everyone on Discord real quick. I did not hear a damn thing after that. But he just jumped in. So here, let me go ahead and jump into a video call with him. Hello, Mark. Oh. So OBS just disconnected. That's it's mad unfortunate. Okay, reconnected. It's perfect. Now, well, Mark is on the other side. Mark, if you're hearing this, feel free to respond at any moment. I'll just keep you on the call and make sure that the volume is still up. So, I was just talking about Quirk Concepts and how I'm trying to make another one. So, yeah. So, I just want to keep it pretty concise, keep it within 30 minutes. I know that people are busy. And admittedly, this is kind of an inspiration from another video that I was watching. Another type of take on just, actually it's kind of off topic because it's about tier listing and whatnot. But the people who had talked about it kept it like to 20 minutes or so. And I think that's a pretty sizable amount. That's just me like clicking on the video, watching it for a little bit, and then just keeping that like playing in the background as I just check my phone for other things. And then 20 minutes pass and it's like, oh, okay, yeah. If anyone's curious about it, it was a tier list of just Persona music. I never played any Persona game, period, but I know about 5 and how good the soundtrack is. Turns out they've had a lot of hitters way back, so I might have to consider just simply off that. Because to be fair, to be honest, my first impressions of Persona is literally people pointing guns at themselves and pulling the trigger, and I was like, I'm not sure, I don't know about that one, Chief. It's like that's not my, it's not my thing. Jeez, dude. Okay, so we're having some really bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna let editor Justin know. Most likely we won't even need to do too much as far as like editing this. But we're having a lot of technical difficulties right now with our stream. I don't know why. And unfortunately, I'm just a one-man tech crew over here. So all I know is that when you press it, it should go. But if there's anything, well, actually, I don't even know because OBS is the one that's like closing off. It's weird. It's happened before. It's no stranger. But like this is new. It's disconnecting and reconnecting a fair number of times instead of like just once. So we'll just re-upload like this version because I do the recording stuff of it. Thank goodness I do that. That is something to consider. If you do like online content where you're actually like doing live streaming, I do, if you have space anyway, highly recommend that you deal with that in the form of, damn, it's really bad, in the form of just archiving your streams, and if you need to edit it. If you just need to upload it again. I will say I am not a fan of that inconsistency. I would want to double check if maybe it's the internet speed or something like that. I don't think so though. But according to what I'm seeing, nothing's being outputted. It's weird, like the bit rate's just. So I don't really know what's going on. Maybe is it because the backpack's way too close to the PC? I don't think so. It's weird. But aside from that, I think that's everything else. That should be everything else. Yeah, no. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. But I guess if anything, we could just continue on with the conversation over here. Let me see. Yeah, actually, here's an idea. I'm just gonna go ahead and stop the stream, right? Because the computer's working. It's hauling right now. So I'll stop the stream. If I have the opportunity to start the stream again, which probably won't, I'll try starting it up again. Otherwise, we'll just keep the recording going, and we'll just start from there. Also, oh, it's weird. I see this. I'm like, all right, so this is a V-neck, right? Like, is something going on with that? Weird. All right, so other things specifically for the channel. Addition to whatchamacallit, Quirk Concepts 4, because we'll work on that. Hopefully we can do some recording this weekend for it. I just need to finish up the last bit of comments as far as like my personal notes on them. I just came across my favorite. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry. I did not have my, what was it called? Honey lemon water. That's what it is. The thing that clears up your throat after, well, for me, a good amount of just conversation. All I have is just water, which actually doesn't admittedly do much. But, so, aside from the Quirk Concepts video, hopefully we'll get some filming done for that this weekend. I have some good news. We pretty much finished up, or at least we're getting closer to finishing the edits for Final Fantasy VII Remake. We got 2 more chapters, that's 17 and 18. And once that's done, and hopefully it won't take too long to edit those 2, I'll pretty much just kind of post them like consecutively for every single day until it's finished. I think. Oh god, I'm all nasally for some reason. Actually, not all of a sudden. It's been developing since the start. I've been feeling it. Whatchamacallit? A lot of distractions all of a sudden. Damn. So, I think last time we left off, and I can just double check it too. As far as like what went public, I think it was episode 8. Right, because episode 8 was a pretty lengthy one. It had a lot of side quests. And I think I stopped because I was like, you know what, this is not happening. I gotta like actually sit down and edit these, like all of them, before I just release them because it would just be weird. But yeah, I can't wait to have those released and probably hop back to it when I finish all the edits and before Integrate comes out, and then we could do some coverage over there too. Speaking of coverage, I know one of the last things we left off for DangIT Plays was Last of Us Part 1, and at some point we will have to schedule doing recordings for Part 2 with Anaya. So I do look forward to that when we get that opportunity. It'll be great. Wow. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So going forward for the stream, just to establish it, it's just recording. Speaking of which, I'm gonna take this opportunity. I'll actually, know what? That's weird. It's weird because I'm still treating it as like a live stream, because otherwise I would be like, I'll be right back, and I'll just hop off. But then again, I do that for Twitch as well. But yeah, no, I had a pretty busy day today. I woke up, I had breakfast and everything like that, and oh damn, you guys can't really see it. Hold on. Okay, you can kind of see it now. Been picking up tennis for a little bit. I started since Sunday. Got super sore Sunday or Monday, and Wednesday was the near full recovery, right? And so just earlier today, having done some reflections on like how things are, like the tennis grip right now, super torn up. So I spent today going to some store and buying. You can kind of see in the back a replacement grip, some over grips, and yeah, I think I bought a couple tennis balls too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm kind of full, not fully, because I'm missing something pretty important when it comes to the sport. But yeah, I'm just going back into tennis again. It's great, actually. It's weird because the way I'm seeing it right now is that um you know yeah, it's fine. Damn it. Here, I will do this. Leave it. Guys, be careful. I'm fighting my inner demons right now. But so I got, wait, what was I talking about? I was talking about like the tennis stuff. So I'm almost fully back into it. The only problem is that I don't actually have another person to like play with. Actually, admittedly, there was a lot of people at the park that I was playing tennis at. So much so that I actually relocated because all the courts were pretty much preoccupied. So, but I found myself a couple courts. So I was able to get a good number of serves in. They had a wall too. It just wasn't the greatest experience when it came to the wall. I've since the start of tennis, I tried to get myself close to like any type of wall that I can rally against, because obviously that's something very important for the sport too. Aside from serves, and oh my god, over the course of like my tennis career, I've I've done a lot of practicing like on serves, and they're not great, but the practice does show. Uh, when I was starting out, that I was trying to do all these crazy like top spin, like kicks, slice serves. Um, it didn't really translate well, but at least I was trying to do those. A random aside, today, um, because I was much more focused on serves today, I I figured out a little something that I kind of do like when when I serve. The problem is that when you practice by yourself, you don't have any coaches around. You kind of have to assess yourself, and that's kind of hard to do just simply because you don't see what you're doing. You can film yourself though. So if you have the means to do that, I would totally recommend just trying to record how, I guess, you go through the motions of like any serve or your forehand, backhand. Aside from that, one of the things that I've been lacking is just another person to play with. But however, I don't have any like other regulars that I play with. I could invite the guys to do some tennis, so we can we can totally do that actually. Um, Make a video about tennis though is just something that just crossed my mind. I don't know if I want to do that. Speaking of which, I need to get Keith from the office. I think Keith the skateboard, because if we would ever make a tennis video ever again, we need that skateboard. But yeah, so I'm back into it. So oh hey,
Finally got it fixed.
what was going on, Mark?
Something was just going on with it. I have no idea what it was exactly. I just had to restart Discord a couple of times.
Oh, got you. Okay. So wait, what happened? Like throughout? So Mark, just to give you a heads up on what's going on. Things are terrible on YouTube side, so we're just doing a recording.
What's happening?
Well, OBS had disconnected a fair number of times. I'm getting absolutely no like data being transferred over to YouTube, so the stream is just dead in the water on that end. So we're just doing a recording. So I've just been talking into the great abyss about the Quirk Concepts video upcoming, and just doing a little bit of tennis stuff. So that's kind of what I've been kind of like rambling on about.
I am excited about the Quirk Concepts. And ooh, you say, what else did you say? I heard that last part. You're talking about tennis. Okay, Prince of Tennis returns.
the Prince of Tennis. Dude, do you hear those synths like I do?
I just hear the sound of a racket hitting my ear, and I'm like, ah!
There were some really unique sounds that was like included with Prince of Tennis. Things that just tried to create like some kind of impactful like dynamic when it came to just like these poses or just trying to set the scene. Man, it was,
oh, absolutely.
It was a gem. I think I watched a fair bit of it. I think on Toonami when it was there. I forget which team, what school they were playing against, but I remember like the most notable thing about it was that Ryoma had like one of his eyes actually cut, and he continued to play like regardless of that, as long as he had like an eye patch on it.
Ah, so they powers kind of similar to Kuroko no Basket.
Yeah, something like that. So also a weird thing about the show was the fact that Ryoma like would debut with his right hand. But he's actually left-handed.
Left.
And he'd be like,
so he purposely handicapped himself.
Woof. And Worm was like, what? But then at a certain point, like he just stopped doing that. He was like, all right, I'm just doing left-handed, okay?
Man, handicapped himself.
Yeah, it was a real gem.
He said, I'm too OP. I'm gonna handicap myself.
Mm-hmm. There was actually, I'm not sure if you know about it, but there was like continuation of it. I don't know what happened to it, but it dealt with them playing against high schoolers, and the level on that was like something else.
High schoolers, man, they're always built different.
They're always built different. Like they're hitting like 18 balls at a time. I mean, you're not wrong, actually. But yeah, it's wild. So after the first like whole thing of Prince of Tennis, I just kind of leave it like that.
I see.
But just to let everyone know, Prince of Tennis isn't the reason why I got into tennis. It's the GameCube game Mario Power Tennis. That's what got me into tennis.
Was it actually?
It was, yeah. It was it's a dope ass game actually. Of course there's Tennis Aces, so there's that. But
Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics.
Do they have tennis on that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, yes, tennis is in the Olympics, but I don't know if they want to try doing that. Oh man, although Tennis Aces is actually a really cool game. I just need to play more of it. But I've been currently going through the catalog right now with Mario Rabbids, and of course, when Monster Hunter update comes around at the end of May, then we're just gonna shift gears over. Well, I guess depending on when it gets released, which will probably be soon after that announcement. So,
More than likely.
So I'm looking forward to whatever the next monster is gonna be, and like whatever like armor you're gonna get out of it.
Oh, absolutely! I can't wait for the new Monster Hunter update because I'm just so curious as to what they're gonna add.
Mm. Like, what's it all gonna end up being? Because everyone loved World, and it then had Iceborne.
World is still the highest-selling Capcom game of all time.
That's well, I mean, good for them, and it shows too.
Yeah, World. I remember I played through World. I played through Base War. I still need to do Iceborne, but World's a fantastic game. It was my first introduction into Monster Hunter. But it was that for a lot of Westerners. For the Westerners, it was their introduction to Monster Hunter as a whole.
Yeah. Even though they had like a bunch of other Monster Hunter games, this is the one that really like sold it to
nothing
people.
popped off like World did. Like, his World was, I remember, like, World was a bit, I added a few new things with World, like better indicators and such.
Yeah.
Stuff that made it easier for, I'd say, a larger audience of people to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, some people might say, "Oh, you're being normies." You gotta make
Excuse me?
You gotta make it friendly to normies for it to actually fucking be popular. I was like, well, I mean, no, because there's a lot of work that goes into Monster Hunter.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Unless
sure.
you're like me and you just straight muscle it.
There are a bunch of nuances, from what I understand, that was maneuvered around when World was being developed, so it doesn't have some of the old traditional like methods being in place. Some people might say that makes it like a lot easier, and the answer is yes, it is, and we're all for it. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about it. It's just like it's a great thing that they decided to check back on everything they had considered for Monster Hunter as a whole, and they just kind of divvied it up to something that's a much more approachable experience for newcomers, especially with Rise, because Rise is just it's like perfect. And it performs really well too. There's that.
Oh, absolutely. On top of that, like, I know a lot of people were disappointed because, of course, Rise, as fun as it is, graphically, it just doesn't compare to World.
But at the same time, it's like probably one of the best looking like Switch games too.
Oh, without a doubt, on the Switch, it looks gorgeous. There's no denying that. But I think it's just the fact that people are expecting that level of detail in the world that World delivered.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, we could see what might happen like if we get a PC port soon, and at that point, then people can start talking about like exactly what else is the Switch kind of holding back on.
I really am wondering what their plan is for the PC version, like if it's going to be graphically enhanced or what it is.
Yeah, I mean the entire interface might change. Well, not the interface per se, just I guess because I feel like they've done like a fantastic job with the online support for the game. It makes it so easy to just jump into like a group of friends or just randos too. But playing it on PC, I mean, it depends on what type of PC like that's doing this. Are we talking about like Steam? Or are we talking about like Xbox's Game Pass for PC? Or because that's kind of like different methods of communicating with friends. If it's randos, fine, they'll figure out a way. But I'm curious about that because Switch is as easy as like having a friend code or being friends with someone.
I will say though, like my biggest criticism of the Switch has been two things. The main problem of my main issue with the Switch is simply just that Nintendo needs to work on their UI. Or maybe not UI. Maybe UI might not be the best word. UI is kind of fine. What I don't like is the online service is very lackluster.
Maybe, yeah. But then
I mean, they could have made it like they know what Sony and Xbox do. They have integrated voice chat. They have party systems. It's like, and Nintendo could easily do that. I know they can.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know what's up with them because at this point, I mean, Gabe has made mention a few good times, but literally the original Xbox has a much more simplistic means of communicating than what Switch has right now.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder what the problem.
I understand that they might want to hold back because of the fact that like it's a family thing, so kids are a lot more involved in that, and they don't really want kids to have that freedom of communication with other strangers out in the world. I get it, but I mean, there's other ways to make it safe, and they made some methods to do that. It's just anyone else who kind of falls outside of that, who just simply want to connect with like their friends online. It's different because obviously you need like a phone to like connect to the app. So it's already like another step involved in just instead of just simply hold Xbox button to after invitation to jump into a chat.
It's not all of that. It's like type your friend's name in, and then you can add them that way. No, please type in Please type in SW and then enter the PIN number.
Or what was it? Splatoon 2's little product. It's a bunch of
it's
dongles.
Like, I know. Nintendo is. I love Nintendo, but the thing about them that I have always known, and I'll always mention it, it's very gimmicky.
They try and stuff, but there's some things that they shouldn't dabble with, I feel.
Like, Nintendo has always been heavy on gimmicks. Kind of their thing.
Yeah, no. I agree with that. I mean, they've been doing it from just the form factor of the consoles to the communication now. But you know what? That very delayed update to Mario Party, I see it. I see what they're doing. It's appreciated. So they're going in the right direction for Mario Party. Albeit it took a while. It just came out of nowhere though. It was weird. But it is what it is. People have found ways around it. There's even whatchamacallit, there's headsets now that can be plugged into your Switch and still connect to your phone too. Through Discord essentially. And you can talk to people through there. I mean,
like there's workarounds. It's just, but you'd think that they would have made their own by now.
Mm-hmm. At the point, I don't really know what their
invite your friends
then.
to a Switch soiree.
Maybe they just didn't have a nice fancy name for like a Switch party chat, so they just kind of just crumpled up the plans and just threw it in the trash.
I hit him with it just now. Switch soiree.
The Switch soiree.
It's perfect.
Go ahead and mail it to Nintendo PO Box.
They're like, I love it.
Have you ever it was probably like middle or elementary school. Have you ever sent any game company like a letter? Just a random letter because it was a signed project thing.
No, I never did anything like that. I remember sending letters. I remember in my school, only thing I remember sending letters to was sending letters to soldiers overseas.
Whoa, okay. Listen, that's way more legit than my little story about
how we actually sent letters to guys in Iraq.
That's cool. I was gonna say
thanking them for their service and everything.
That is really cool. Mine was just like a letter to like Microsoft or Nintendo or something. Just talking about, I guess, favorite games or whatever. It was probably Microsoft. I remember talking about like Master Chief. So I don't know like if there was anything like noteworthy in my letter, but it was just like hey, this is the thing. So thank you for making these games. That's it. I don't think I ever got like a return back mail for that. I think there were some letters that got mailed back as like it was returned, couldn't be forwarded. So I was saddened by those people. It did happen to me though. Mine was a good one.
Here's like mine was the good one.
Mine was the one. Mine was the one that won. But what else is there? I think that's aside from like the DangIT Plays stuff and Core Concepts videos. I think that's kind of the direction we're taking right now for the channel right now. And I'm totally
I
for
have
it.
been wondering. I have been wondering recently because I haven't been paying attention to YouTube as much recently. So I was going to ask like, what has been happening on the channel recently? And now, but I saw you editing last night. I was like, oh, Final Fantasy. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, Final Fantasy finished chapter 16. There's only 2 more chapters after that. I'm done. And then I'll also pick up on Miles Morales. That's supposed to be like coinciding that as far as edits, but figured that now I should probably stick to one game at a time to edit. It's probably
you
better off.
you don't want to like overdo it.
Yeah, I don't want to overdo it and get yourself confused. So not like but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to maybe probably jumping back into Final Fantasy VII Remake as far as integrate and just doing some coverage on that.
I would love to play remake.
I would love to. Well, you know what, Mark? You can play 10 and 10 too on the Game Pass.
It's not Final Fantasy VII remake though.
It ain't no 7 remake. It ain't no remake.
It ain't hack and slash.
It ain't hack and slash.
It's
and
that
2 is
the fuck
it's
is
that
it? It's that turn-based combat bullshit.
Hey. don't be saying turn bases. The worst thing I can think of.
It's not the worst thing, but when it comes to Final Fantasy, I heavily prefer what they did with 15.
Fair enough. Yeah, wait, hold on. That reminds me. Have we ever talked about what was it? No, it was actually Phil who brought it up. The fact that Yakuza used to be more of the action RPG, if not just action, and now they're shifting over to turn-based stuff. In that games like I think Judgment would be more action oriented, or it could be another side story game, whatever.
Isn't it like wasn't Judgment like you said the spin-off of Yakuza?
I think so. Yeah. Because Yakuza Like a Dragon is the turn-based one.
Like a dragon.
Anything like beyond that is I don't know. I think that was like the most latest. That's like the latest entry, and so any future Yakuza games will probably be like a turn-based type of thing. I'm not sure why they shifted over, unless there was some major popularity with Like a Dragon, so they're just gonna be trying different things. But I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, they always want to experiment with the game and try new things. That's what they try to do with each game, especially the ones that release like yearly.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like the games that release yearly, you always want to try something new with the formula just so it doesn't get stale.
Yeah. I feel like that was kind of a thing with Assassin's Creed because I never played the first one. I'm probably glad that I didn't play the first one, but I played 2, and 2 was really, really good. The problem is that Brotherhood and Revelations, I believe, are pretty much the same thing. I could sit down and play them, but it doesn't do anything else aside from that really stands out. I will say that 3 was kind of hyped because it was tomahawks and shit. But
3 was people talk shit on 3, but I'm a big fan of 3.
Yeah, I do like it. I'm not sure if it's because of Connor himself or just simply some of the mission based stuff, but obviously that was the introduction to like
I like Connor.
Yeah, I like Connor too, but I can see how like he does like especially compared to everyone's favorite boy Ezio. Those are hard shoes to cover.
It's usually a tie amongst most people. It's usually a tie between Ezio and Edward.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of which, yeah, no, like I at some point probably I'll need to jump back into Black Flag and pretty much do what Gabe did and just upgrade the ship first and foremost.
Right. And then there's also Rogue.
There is Rogue. Rogue is a cool like concept where you are just turning into the villain.
Yeah, like Rogue was very interesting in the sense of it introduced a concept that was always thought about but never really spoken upon, which is there's good and bad on both sides.
Ah, yeah, okay, that's a little bit more like actually unearthing the actual stuff that's happening.
Like, there's good assassins, there's bad assassins, there's good Templars, there's bad Templars.
Damn, that changes everything. Good
You know,
Templars,
it's
excuse me?
like, you know, there's those that aren't as bad as you would think.
Oh, okay. Oh, and I will say, with 3, despite having a very lengthy opening type of thing, almost akin to like Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 2, that unveiling that your pops they would have to like fight later on is a Templar. He just so happened to be an assassin too.
Oh yeah, with Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, we knew that from the beginning of the game that Hatham was his father,
Mm-hmm.
and that, of course, like, you know, he knew that there one day would be a fateful encounter where he would have to fight his father,
Yeah. I think
because his father
also,
was also the reason why he lost his mother.
yeah, this is true. And then what was it? He wasn't even the main baddie. It was the other dude. And
Yep.
I will say the conclusion to that one was actually kind of cool
Oh, absolutely.
because like you're out it's pretty much a long running type of mission where you're trying to take care of him but he keeps getting away and it's to the point where you guys are literally near death and you catch him up at a bar and you're like sitting down and it's like this is gonna happen, old man. He's like, do it, just do. Wait, hold on, let me take a drink. Okay,
At
do
least
it.
let me have my last shot. He's like, let me have just one last shot.
I was like, okay, all right, all right. And for some reason, I remember like, because I know that there was a fair number of characters in 3, but I remember there was this one woman, and she's been talking about like, I think she's like the most independent like character that I've seen like out of like the crew of people you talk to, and that she is perfectly fine just to do things on her own. But I remember that she asked Connor about like him ever settling down. It's like I just never found someone, and she's like, you know, when you finally finish everything, let me hit that. And he's like, "Aight."
This is true, and he said, "Bet."
I was like, "Yo." But yeah, that was a fun time. And then there was Unity, right? That's technically 5. And then
I enjoyed Unity.
I still have not played Unity because
Honestly, it is very underrated due to the launch bugs.
yeah. And then what was after that? That was Syndicate, right?
Yeah, it's Assassin's Creed Syndicate after Unity.
Yeah. And then Origins and then Odyssey. I remember finishing Origins and I actually still fairly enjoyed that despite all these like times I just kind of stopped in between. You know, I enjoyed Origins. I might pick up Odyssey at some point. There's also Valhalla, but yeah, no, I'll eventually get to that. I just need to trim down my catalog a little bit. So, I think I talked about it. Yeah, just dealing with Mario and Rabbids. Interesting. I actually I like the strategy game like in that one too because there are a lot of elements that remind me of Fire Emblem, but it's varied enough so that it's definitely not like exactly like that, but you can like get your mind like working out for this one.
Oh yeah.
Man, that kind of makes me want. I there's still like 2 other stories in Fire Emblem 3 Houses that I can play. I just never really jumped into that. I just went with essentially. I just went like the power route. We're gonna use the Empire and we're gonna make that supreme. We're going to establish governments. And all these religious like icons are like, whoa, 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 nah, we're not doing that.
No, they're like, excuse me.
Edelgard was about like the modern day since like establishment of powers. But I can't say that I 100% like support everything that she was doing. But she was chill with me, so I was totally down to just kind of hang out for a bit.
I know you were like, all right, bet.
All right, bet. But yeah, I'll have to somehow jump
They
back
just
into
released the new expansion for Valhalla, which is your main character is going to Ireland.
that. Oh, cool. Is
Yeah,
that?
I think it's called Wrath of the Druids.
I have heard of that actually.
Which is I'm actually like I haven't bought it, but eventually I probably am because I do want to play through. Because I didn't play through Odyssey's DLC because it took very long to come out, and I never had money.
That's true. Did you ever talk about like your experience with Valhalla?
I don't know if I ever did with you guys. Like, I just know I really enjoyed Valhalla. Like, I thought Valhalla was pretty fucking sick.
Okay.
Like the combat, like
Oh.
the more you level up, the more fluid the combat gets, which is probably how it should be.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay. Yeah. I was about to say like that should be the deciding factor.
Also, a lot of cool abilities.
Nice. I do like that. Just having the ability to like just move up and you actually see the changes over time.
Yeah, and they actually, I mean, the one cool thing that I think, because there are a lot of people who didn't like how it became a looter kind of thing, a looter RPG, but there's they did put in an option in Valhalla, which was the ability to turn on instant assassination, so it could be like it used to be. Like, you know, if you hit assassinate somebody, instantly dead.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so they added in a feature that allowed to return to some old mechanics from Assassin's Creed.
Because I do miss that about it because at a certain point in Origins, you'll notice like a strange health bar on an enemy. You're like, okay, let me try that. And they don't die, and you have like this big Pikachu surprise face on you.
And you're like,
excuse me. And they proceed to bury your face in the ground.
I know.
I was like, this is the worst. How could they do this? They've neutered the hidden blade. I didn't know you can do that. But I did like the fact that even though you didn't have a ship to upgrade, in Origins you could upgrade like your abilities. Whether it be the skill tree or just simply increasing the power to like your primary arms, your bow, your quiver, that kind of stuff. And it all required like hides and whatnot. Or metals. So I appreciate that one because it did cause me to do some like level grinding and lots of gator lives taken.
Lots of gator lives. Oh no.
Well, that and gators. Gators were also very upset with me.
The gators were upset with you.
Yeah. You're literally waltzing into their territory and like shooting these fire arrows. And then they get really upset with you and they try to fight you. But you're like, it's great. It's a great time. I feel bad though. Listen, if it's ever required, I have no problems. But ever since that fateful day, I won't just do it on a whim.
Not on a whim.
Never on a whim. It has to be a requirement.
It's always got to be the requirement. If it's on a whim, but if it has to be done, it has to be done.
You must be silenced.
I will not be silenced.
I really wish I knew like the last lines of like the Prophet at that time. Right before Arbiter like skewered him.
His last word. Fuck you.
Fuck. That's the best thing. Just like this little like fled worm like squirming out of his cheek, and the last thing he just says like "fuck you," and Arbiter just says, "You must be silenced."
Must be silenced.
Lord, dude.
You must be silenced.
You must be silenced. Oh,
I wonder if they'll bring back the
so
Arbiter.
easy.
I wonder if they'll bring back the Arbiter in Infinite.
Good question. Like, I totally forget like what the setting is. It's just like it's on a Halo ring, right?
It's on a ring. It is on a broken Halo ring.
Right. Um, and I guess most of the story, if not just the gameplay, just takes place there. So you just have to
Yep.
relay. You gotta relay something to Arbiter to just have him come by.
I'm
Unless,
trying to remember the last place Arbiter was, because he's in Halo 5.
yeah.
Like, he was on Saying Helios, but I'm trying to remember if he left Saying Helios or not.
Mm. I don't know.
Saying Helios
He's got
being the home of the elites.
yeah. He's got an entire family he needs to take care of. It's totally fine. But otherwise, I guess maybe if Chief like sends a message just saying like, Arbiter, I need you.
Arbiter, come in.
And he says,
It ain't so easy.
and he flies through. Boom! There's your co-op character again. But yeah, actually, were they going to allow like cooperative play like that in Halo Infinite?
No, actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Well, actually, just Halo as like how much more of an open world type of thing. I mean, I guess
I think it looks really good from what we saw in the previews.
Yeah, I'm just really curious about like how I guess traversal is going to look. Like aside from like getting into a vehicle, but like if you were to travel on foot, are there any like hidden things you can find? Probably.
No,
Like,
there's like the grappling hook.
there is a grappling. I remember that. But and, like at that point, like when we bring up like the idea of open world, like kind of want to like add an RPG element of just simply leveling up Chief and just upgrading his stuff. So if they do that, I'll be super happy about that. It's not a big deal as long as like the Halo mechanics are back in there, and there's just a really cool multiplayer. Because the times I've been playing Halo 5 as a multiplayer, that was fun. I actually really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, Halo 5 multiplayer is pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool how it just kind of gauges your play style, so you are just playing with relatively equally skilled like players, so it doesn't feel like you're being absolutely rushed in because everyone else is the same
Absolutely
boat.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, could be a major turnoff for some people, so I'm glad that they're just like that now. But I know that there's a bunch of other game modes too, aside from Slayer. So
Slayer, but I mean, there's always been more modes than just Slayer.
this is true.
Like Slayer is just your standard. There's also big team battle. There was SWAT. There was zombie. There's zombies. There's all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Slayer.
Slayer.
And I love when was it the commentary kind of goes overkill on its lines.
Kilimanjaro.
Oh yeah.
Killionaire.
It's ridiculous. Let's see. I don't believe Killpocalypse. I don't believe that there's anything else to add. Aside from I guess I will report on the fact that I sent in my right Joy-Con on last Friday, I believe, and it came back on Wednesday. So that was a pretty fast like process of repair. And as far as I know, it's kind of back to normal. The shell's the same though. I noticed that, and I'm fine. It just doesn't look as clean, and I'm kind of sad. Low-key, I kind of wanted a new one.
Low-key, I was kind of hoping they'd give me something better.
But I guess what was it? Come July is when not Breath of the Wild, what was it? Skyward Sword and the themed Joy-Cons I ordered will come in at that point. So I look forward to that and the game, just kind of revisiting it. And
Understandable.
Yeah, I just honestly like we've been kind of due for another Zelda game, but they're keeping it easy by just releasing like small things at a time. I think the last thing was really Link's Awakening, and I actually really enjoyed that for just like a small cute game. But I think as far as I think, actually E3, I think they're going to do something with Breath of the Wild 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, because they did that. They did something like that with a Nintendo Direct, like 1 year after Mario's birthday. So they had that, and that's when they announced Skyward Sword, and they didn't have anything to mention about Breath of the Wild 2, but they would release that later in the year. I believe that is E3. So, and honestly, I can't believe the E3 is coming out very soon.
I know E3 is actually coming pretty freaking soon.
And I'm gonna predict that it's actually gonna like just slap us across the face with a couple surprises. I'd
imagine like it wouldn't be E3 without some surprises.
Man, I still remember when what was it, Fighters was announced.
That was
the crazy thing. That was so crazy to look at.
It looks so clean.
We were like, oh, and then the other characters pop in. And you're like, oh, there's tag teaming.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, stuff like that's like super cool to see. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Mark, is there anything that's happened to you this past week?
Well, finally figured out why I've been getting worse with my condition. Looks like I've got an infection somewhere in me.
Oh, that's actually serious.
No, I'll live. It's just the fact that we learned what the problem is.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm gonna need to either get antibiotics to specifically target what it is, or I'll just need to get plasmapheresis again, which is essentially dialysis for the blood.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank goodness too, because I was wondering why I was so bad, and it makes sense why my condition's been so bad. I haven't been this bad since the last time I had this type of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, what's causing the problem is streptococcal.
Wait, what was that?
Streptococca. It's essentially strep throat.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was about to say, like,
yeah,
what causes this infection?
Yeah, they found it in my bloodstream again.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, oh shit, here we go again.
How many times we gotta teach this lesson, old man?
It's like, that explains a lot.
I love young people.
I love the young people. But luckily,
Bikini Bottom is absolutely dangerous.
Right, absolutely dangerous.
Downright.
I mean,
safe havens, we in general.
Exactly. I'll be having to figure out what's going on with that. I'll have to check my emails too, because I don't think I've gotten any emails from my doctor yet, but I'll have to look.
Okay. All right, then. In that case, I think we're good to adjourn. So thank you, Mark. Thank you for jumping in. You want to thank everyone else. Especially, I want to thank everyone who decides to watch this, because this will end up being an uploaded video instead.
We appreciate you, you real ones.
You, the real ones. And yeah, I don't know when Quirk Concepts video will be coming out anytime soon. So I can't give you like an estimated, like probably at the most it'll be sometime by the end of this month. That's probably like the biggest, the closest time frame I got. Because I'll talk to Mark after this recording, but yeah, it's a bit of an undertaking after our live scene, but yeah. All right, next we'll go ahead and call it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been episode 360 actually of DangIT Prodcast.
360.
My name is Justin. 360.
Mark.
Thanks for watching. Hashtag bye, everyone.
Hashtag bye. Peace.
Hashtag bye.